Hello there, English learners. Welcome to my channel. I'm Emma, and I'm so excited to spend the next hour with you practicing real English conversations. Today we're going to talk about many interesting topics that you use every day. Don't worry about making mistakes. The most important thing is to speak and practice. Get comfortable, grab a drink, and let's start speaking English together. Remember, you can pause any time to think or repeat what I say. Speaking to yourself is one of the best ways to improve your English. Are you ready? Let's begin. First, let me tell you a bit about myself. Then you can share about yourself, too. My name is Emma. I'm 28 years old. I live in a small city near the mountains. I work as an English teacher, and I love helping people learn this beautiful language. In my free time, I enjoy reading mystery books and trying new coffee shops. I also love taking photos of nature. Now it's your turn. Tell me about yourself. Say your name out loud. How old are you? Where do you live? What do you do for work or study? What do you like to do when you're free? You can say something like, "My name is Carlos. I'm 25 years old. I live in Mexico City. I work in a bank. I like playing guitar and watching movies." Don't worry about perfect grammar. Just speak naturally. Great job. Now let's talk about your home. I live in a two-bedroom apartment with my cat, Whiskers. My apartment has a small kitchen, a living room, and a balcony with plants. I love my balcony because I can see the mountains from there. What about your home? Do you live in a house or an apartment? How many rooms does it have? Who do you live with? What's your favorite room? You might say, "I live in a house with my family. It has 3 bedrooms and a big kitchen. My favorite room is the living room because we watch TV there together." Perfect. Speaking about your home is great practice for describing places and using prepositions. Keep going. Daily life and routines. Let's talk about what we do every day. My weekdays are pretty regular. 30 a.m. I'm not a morning person, so I need coffee immediately. I make a strong cup of coffee and check my phone for a few minutes. Then I take a quick shower and get dressed. I eat a simple breakfast, usually toast with jam and more coffee. I leave my house at 8 a.m. and walk to work. It takes me about 15 minutes. I like walking because I can listen to podcasts. What about your morning routine? What time do you wake up? Are you a morning person, or do you prefer evenings? What do you eat for breakfast? How do you get to work or school? Try to answer. I wake up at 7 a.m. I'm not a morning person either. I drink tea, not coffee. I eat eggs and bread for breakfast. I take the bus to work. Excellent. Now let's talk about evenings. After work, I usually go to the gym or take a walk in the park. I try to exercise at least 4 times a week. It helps me feel energetic and sleep better. For dinner, I sometimes cook at home, but I also order food online quite often. I know I should cook more, but I get tired after work. Do you understand that feeling? In the evening, I watch Netflix or read a book. I try to go to bed by 10:30 p.m., but sometimes I stay up late watching interesting documentaries. What do you do after work or school? Do you exercise? Do you cook dinner or eat out? What do you do to relax in the evening? You can say, after work, I go home and play with my kids. We cook dinner together. I watch the news and go to bed early. Great. Now, let's talk about weekends. Weekends are my favorite time. I usually sleep in until 8:30 or 9 a.m. Saturday mornings. I clean my apartment and do laundry. It's not fun, but it has to be done. Saturday afternoons, I meet friends for lunch or go shopping. Sometimes I visit my parents, who live in another part of the city. Sunday is my rest day. I read, watch movies, or just relax at home. How do you spend your weekends? Do you sleep late? Do you work on weekends or do you rest? What's your favorite weekend activity? Try saying on weekends I sleep until 10 a.m. I visit my family on Saturday. On Sunday, I clean my house and prepare for the next week. Perfect. Talking about routines is so useful because we all have them. The vocabulary you're learning here will help you in many conversations. Food and eating habits. Now, let's talk about one of my favorite topics, food. I love trying different cuisines. In my city, we have restaurants from all over the world. My favorite is a small Italian place that makes amazing pasta. I'm not a great cook, but I can make a few simple dishes. I make good scrambled eggs, vegetable soup, and grilled cheese sandwiches. My specialty is chocolate chip cookies. They're always popular with my friends. What about you? Do you like cooking? What's your favorite food? Can you cook? What's your specialty dish? You might say I love cooking. My favorite food is spicy chicken curry. I can cook many Indian dishes. My specialty is biryani. Wonderful. Let's talk about eating habits. I usually eat 3 meals a day, but I also snack quite a bit. I know it's not the healthiest habit. For breakfast, I prefer something quick because I'm always rushing in the morning. Lunch is usually my biggest meal. I either bring a sandwich from home or buy something near my workplace. There's a great soup place that I visit at least twice a week. Dinner varies. If I'm tired, I might just have a salad or order pizza. But when I have energy, I enjoy cooking a proper meal with vegetables and protein. How many meals do you eat per day? What's your biggest meal? Do you snack between meals? What's your typical lunch? You can answer, I eat 3 meals a day. Dinner is my biggest meal because a whole family eats together. I don't snack much. For lunch, I usually eat rice and vegetables. Excellent. Now, let's talk about food shopping. I go grocery shopping once a week, usually on Saturday morning. I make a list beforehand, but I always end up buying things that weren't on the list. I prefer fresh vegetables and fruits, so I choose them carefully. I also buy a lot of yogurt, bread, and cheese. I try to avoid too much processed food, but sometimes I buy cookies or ice cream as a treat. Do you enjoy food shopping? How often do you go? Do you make a shopping list? What foods you always buy? Try saying I go shopping twice a week. I always make a list, but I forget it at home. I buy lots of fresh fruit and vegetables. I always buy milk and eggs. Great job. Food is such a universal topic. Everyone can relate to it, and it's perfect for making conversation with new people. Work and career. Let's discuss work and careers. As I mentioned, I'm an English teacher. I've been teaching for about 5 years now. I work at a language school, and I also do some online tutoring. I really enjoy my job because every day is different. I meet students from all over the world, and I learn about their cultures while helping them with English. The challenging part is that some students are very motivated, while others struggle to stay focused. My typical workday starts at 9 a.m. and ends at 5 p.m., but I often spend extra time preparing lessons or grading homework. The best part of my job is seeing students improve and gain confidence in speaking English. What do you do for work? Do you enjoy your job? What's the best part about it? What's the most challenging part? How long have you been doing this job? You might say I work as a nurse in a hospital. I've been doing this for 3 years. I love helping patients feel better. The challenging part is working night shifts sometimes. Excellent. Now, let's talk about work relationships. I work with about 10 other teachers. We get along really well and often help each other with lesson planning. We sometimes go out for coffee or dinner together after work. My boss is very supportive and understanding. If I have a problem, I can always talk to her. She gives us freedom to be creative with our teaching methods, which I really appreciate. The students are the best part, though. They come from many different countries: Brazil, Japan, Korea, Saudi Arabia, and more. Each class feels like a mini United Nations. How do you get along with your coworkers? Do you socialize with them outside of work? What's your boss like? Do you work with people from different backgrounds? You can answer. I work with a great team. We help each other a lot. My boss is strict but fair. Most of my coworkers are from my country, but we have one colleague from India. Perfect. Let's talk about career goals and future plans. I'd like to open my own language school someday. Maybe in 5 or 10 years when I have more experience and savings. I'm also thinking about getting a master's degree in education. In the short term, I want to learn Spanish. Many of my students speak Spanish, and I think it would help me understand their challenges better. I'm planning to take classes next year. What are your career goals? Do you want to change jobs or stay in the same field? Are you planning to study more or learn new skills? Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Try saying I want to become a manager in my company. I'm studying business administration in the evenings. In 5 years, I hope to have my own small business. Wonderful. Talking about work and career goals is important in many situations. Job interviews, networking events, or just casual conversations, technology, and social media. Now let's discuss something we all use every day. Technology. I have to admit, I'm quite attached to my smartphone. I check it first thing in the morning and last thing at night. I know it's not the healthiest habit. I use my phone mainly for communication, navigation, and entertainment. I'm always texting friends, checking emails, or looking up directions. I also take lots of photos and videos. My favorite apps are probably WhatsApp for messaging, Spotify for music, and Instagram for photos. I also use YouTube a lot to watch cooking videos and documentaries. What about you? Which apps do you use most often? You might say I use my phone for everything. My favorite apps are Facebook, TikTok, and Google Maps. I also use banking apps and online shopping apps. Great. Let's talk about social media. I have accounts on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. I post photos of my travels, food, and daily life. I try not to spend too much time scrolling, but sometimes I get caught up looking at other people's posts. I think social media can be great for staying connected with friends and family, especially those who live far away. But it can also be overwhelming sometimes. There's so much information and so many opinions. Do you use social media? Which platforms do you prefer? How often do you post? Do you think social media has more positive or negative effects? You can answer, I love Instagram and TikTok. I post pictures of my food and family. I check social media several times a day. I think it's mostly positive because I stay connected with old friends. Excellent. Now let's discuss online shopping. I probably shop online too much. It's so convenient to order things and have them delivered to your door. I buy clothes, books, household items, and even groceries online. The advantage is that you can compare prices easily and read reviews from other customers. The disadvantage is that sometimes the item doesn't look the same as in the photos, or it doesn't fit properly. My latest online purchase was a coffee maker. I spent hours reading reviews and comparing different models. It arrived yesterday and I'm very happy with it. Do you shop online often? What do you usually buy? Have you ever had a bad experience with online shopping? What's the last thing you bought online? Try saying, I shop online for clothes and electronics. Last week I bought a new phone case. I once ordered shoes that were too small, so now I'm more careful about sizes. Perfect. Technology is changing so fast. Let's talk about how it affects our daily lives. I remember when I was a child, we didn't have smartphones or social media. We played outside more and watched TV together as a family. Now everyone has their own screen. Sometimes when I'm with friends, everyone is looking at their phones instead of talking to each other. It makes me a bit sad, but technology also makes life easier. I can video call my parents who live in another city. I can learn new skills through online courses. I can order food when I'm too tired to cook. How has technology changed your life? Do you think these changes are mostly positive or negative? What did you do for entertainment before smartphones? You might answer, technology makes everything faster and easier, but sometimes I miss the old days when families talked more during dinner. Before smartphones, I read more books and played board games. Excellent point. Technology is definitely a double-edged sword, isn't it? Health and fitness. Let's talk about health and staying fit. This is something I struggle with sometimes. I know I should exercise more and eat healthier, but it's not always easy with a busy schedule. I try to go to the gym 3 times a week. I usually do cardio exercises like running on the treadmill or riding the stationary bike. I also do some weight training, but I'm not very strong yet. I love yoga classes. They help me relax and stretch my muscles. The instructor is very patient and encouraging. After yoga, I always feel more peaceful and balanced. What do you do to stay healthy? Do you exercise regularly? What kind of physical activities do you enjoy? Do you belong to a gym or do you exercise at home? You can say I go jogging in the park every morning. I also play basketball with friends on weekends. I don't go to a gym, but I do push-ups and sit-ups at home. Great. Now let's discuss eating habits and diet. I try to eat balanced meals, but I have a sweet tooth. I love chocolate ice cream and pastries. I know I should eat more vegetables and less sugar. I drink a lot of water throughout the day, which is good. I also try to eat fruits as snacks instead of chips or cookies. But sometimes when I'm stressed or tired, I eat junk food. I cook at home most of the time because restaurant food often has too much salt and fat. When I cook, I can control the ingredients and make healthier choices. What's your approach to healthy eating? Do you have any bad food habits? What healthy foods do you enjoy? Do you cook at home or eat out more often? You might answer, I try to eat lots of vegetables and fish. My bad habit is drinking too much coffee. I enjoy fresh salads and grilled chicken. I cook at home most days. Perfect. Let's talk about sleep and rest. I need at least 7 hours of sleep to function well. If I don't get enough sleep, I feel grumpy and can't concentrate. I have a bedtime routine that helps me relax. I turn off all screens at least 30 minutes before bed. I read a book or listen to soft music. Sometimes I drink herbal tea. My bedroom is cool and dark, which helps me sleep better. I also try to go to bed and wake up at the same time every day, even on weekends. How much sleep do you need? Do you have trouble falling asleep sometimes? What helps you relax before bed? Are you a light sleeper or a heavy sleeper? Try saying I need 8 hours of sleep. Sometimes I can't sleep because I think too much. I listen to relaxing music before bed. I'm a light sleeper, so small noises wake me up. Excellent. Now let's discuss dealing with stress. Teaching can be stressful sometimes, especially when I have difficult students or too much work to do. When I feel stressed, I try to take deep breaths and remind myself that it's temporary. I also like to take walks in nature or call a friend to talk about my problems. Exercise really helps me manage stress. After a good workout, I usually feel much better. I also practice meditation using an app on my phone. Even just 10 minutes can make a difference. How do you handle stress? What situations make you feel most stressed? What activities help you relax and feel better? You can answer, I feel stressed when I have too much work. I handle stress by listening to music and talking to my family. Going for walks also helps me clear my mind. Wonderful. Taking care of our physical and mental health is so important for a happy life. Travel and adventure. Let's talk about one of my favorite topics, travel. I love exploring new places and experiencing different cultures. Travel teaches you so much about the world and about yourself. Last year, I took a trip to Thailand with two friends. It was amazing. The food was incredible, so spicy and flavorful. The people were very friendly and welcoming. We visited temples, beaches, and busy markets. The most memorable part was riding elephants in Chiang Mai. It was a bit scary at first, but the elephants were so gentle and intelligent. We also took a cooking class and learned to make pad thai and green curry. Have you traveled to other countries? Where's the most interesting place you visited? What did you like most about that place? Do you prefer beach vacations or city exploration? You might say, I've been to Spain and France. I love Paris because of the beautiful architecture and museums. I prefer city trips because I like visiting museums and trying different restaurants. Fantastic. Now, let's talk about travel planning. I usually spend weeks researching before a trip. I read travel blogs, watch YouTube videos, and check reviews on TripAdvisor. I like to book flights and hotels in advance to get better prices. But I don't plan every single day. I prefer to leave some time for spontaneous adventures. Some of my best travel memories happened when I didn't have a plan. I always pack too much. I bring clothes for every possible weather condition and situation. My friends laugh at my huge suitcase, but I like to be prepared. How do you plan your trips? Do you book everything in advance, or do you prefer spontaneous travel? Are you a light packer, or do you pack too much like me? Try saying I don't plan much. I just book the flight and hotel. Then decide what to do when I arrive. I'm a light packer. I only bring one small bag. Great approach. Now, let's discuss travel challenges. Sometimes things don't go as planned when you're traveling. I've missed flights, gotten lost, and had food poisoning in foreign countries. One time in Italy, I got on the wrong train and ended up in a completely different city. I was supposed to go to Florence, but I ended up in Bologna. At first, I was frustrated, but then I decided to explore Bologna for a few hours. It turned out to be one of my favorite days of the trip. Another time, my luggage was lost for 3 days. During a trip to Germany, I had to buy new clothes and toiletries. It was expensive and annoying, but I learned that you can handle more than you think you can. Have you ever had travel problems? How did you handle them? What's the worst thing that has happened to you while traveling? You can answer, once I missed my connecting flight and had to sleep in the airport. It was uncomfortable, but the airline gave me a hotel voucher for the next night. I learned to always check flight times carefully. That's a great learning experience. Let's talk about cultural differences. One thing I love about travel is learning how people live differently in other parts of the world. In Thailand, people take off their shoes before entering homes and temples. In Japan, it's rude to tip at restaurants. In some Middle Eastern countries, you should dress very modestly. These differences are fascinating, not right or wrong, just different. I've learned to be more open-minded and flexible through travel. What seems strange at first often makes perfect sense when you understand the culture behind it. Have you noticed interesting cultural differences when traveling or meeting people from other countries? What surprised you most about another culture? You might say, in Germany, people are very punctual. Being late is considered very rude. In my country, we're more relaxed about time. I learned to always be on time when I work with German clients. Excellent observation. Now let's discuss future travel dreams. I have a long list of places I want to visit. At the top of my list are New Zealand, Iceland, and Morocco. I want to see the beautiful landscapes in New Zealand and maybe try bungee jumping. Even though heights scare me, Iceland appeals to me because of the northern lights and hot springs. Morocco seems so exotic with its markets, architecture, and desert landscapes. I'm also interested in taking a cooking tour through Vietnam or photography workshop in Kenya. I think combining travel with learning new skills would be amazing. Where would you like to travel next? What's on your travel bucket list? Is there a specific type of trip you've always wanted to take? Try saying, I want to visit Australia to see the Great Barrier Reef. I also want to go to Brazil for Carnival. My dream trip would be a safari in Africa to see wild animals. How exciting! Having travel dreams gives us something to look forward to and work towards relationships and social life. Let's talk about relationships and social connections. I think good relationships are one of the most important things in life. I'm lucky to have wonderful family and friends who support me. I'm very close to my parents and my younger sister. We video call every week and visit each other regularly. Family dinners are always loud and fun. We talk, laugh, and sometimes argue about silly things. My sister and I are very different personalities, but we understand each other well. She's more outgoing and adventurous, while I'm more cautious and practical, but we balance each other out nicely. How close are you to your family? Do you have brothers or sisters? What do you like to do together? Do you talk to your family often? You can say, I have one older brother and one younger sister. We're very close. We meet every Sunday for lunch at our parents' house. We like playing card games together. That sounds lovely. Now, let's talk about friendships. I have different types of friends. Some I've known since childhood. Others I met at work or through hobbies. My best friend Sarah and I have been friends for over 10 years. We met in college and immediately clicked. We can talk about anything, work problems, relationship issues, dreams of the future. She's the person I call when I need advice or just want to laugh. I also have newer friends from my gym and my book club. These friendships are still developing, but it's exciting to meet new people and discover common interests. Making friends as an adult can be challenging. It takes more effort than when you're young and see the same people every day at school. How do you maintain friendships? You have a best friend? How did you meet your closest friends? Do you find it easy or difficult to make new friends? You might answer, my best friend and I went to high school together. We stay in touch through WhatsApp every day. I find it hard to make new friends because I'm a bit shy, but I'm trying to be more social. That's great that you're making an effort. Now, let's discuss dating and romantic relationships. This can be a sensitive topic, but it's part of life for many people. I'm currently single, and I'm okay with that. I've had a few serious relationships in the past, but they didn't work out for various reasons. Sometimes people grow in different directions, and that's normal. Dating can be fun, but also stressful. There's so many ways to meet people now, through friends at work, through hobbies, or online dating apps. Each method has advantages and disadvantages. I think the most important thing in any relationship is good communication. You need to be able to talk openly about your feelings, needs, and concerns. Are you married, in a relationship, or single? How did you meet your partner? What do you think makes a good relationship? What's your opinion about online dating? You can answer, I'm married to my college sweetheart. We've been together for 8 years. Good relationships need trust, communication, and humor. We laugh together every day. That's beautiful. Laughter is definitely important in relationships. Let's talk about social activities and hobbies. I'm part of a book club that meets once a month. We read different genres, fiction, biographies, mysteries. I really enjoy our discussions. Everyone has different opinions about the books, which makes for interesting conversations. We usually meet at a coffee shop or someone's home. I also joined a hiking group last year. Every Saturday morning, we explored different trails in the mountains. It's great exercise, and I've made several new friends. The group is very welcoming to beginners. Do you belong to any clubs or groups? What social activities do you enjoy? How do you meet new people in your community? Try saying, I play in a soccer league every Wednesday evening. I also volunteer at an animal shelter on weekends. These activities help me meet people who share my interests. That's wonderful. Volunteering is such a great way to give back and meet like-minded people. Personal growth and future plans. Let's talk about personal development and goals. I believe it's important to keep growing and learning throughout life. I'm always trying to improve myself in different areas. This year, I set several goals for myself. I wanted to read 24 books, learn basic Spanish, exercise more regularly, and save money for my future language school. So far, I've read 18 books, mostly fiction and some self-help books. My Spanish is improving slowly but steadily. I'm taking online lessons twice a week. Exercise is still a challenge for me, but I'm doing better than last year. The savings goal is going well. I put aside a fixed amount every month, even if it means spending less on clothes or eating out. Do you set goals for yourself? What are you trying to improve this year? How do you stay motivated when things get difficult? You might say, my goal this year is to get promoted at work and improve my English speaking. I stay motivated by tracking my progress and celebrating small victories. Excellent approach. Celebrating small wins is so important. Now, let's discuss learning and education. I love learning new things. Even though I finished formal education years ago, besides Spanish lessons, I'm taking an online course about digital marketing. Since I want to open my own school someday, I need to understand how to promote it online. I also listen to podcasts during my commute. My favorites are about psychology, business, and language learning. Podcasts are perfect for learning while doing other activities. Reading remains my favorite way to learn. I read books about teaching methods, business, personal development, and of course, fiction for pleasure. What new skills are you learning? Do you prefer formal classes or self-study? What resources do you use for learning? Books, videos, podcasts, apps? You can answer. I'm learning graphic design through YouTube tutorials. I prefer learning at my own pace. I also use mobile apps to practice English vocabulary during my lunch break. That's a great combination of resources. Let's talk about overcoming challenges and fears. Everyone faces difficulties in life, and I think how we handle them shapes who we become. My biggest fear used to be public speaking. As a teacher, this was obviously a problem. I was terrified of making mistakes or forgetting what to say in front of students. I overcame this fear gradually through practice and preparation. I started with small groups and worked my way up to larger classes. I also learned that students are usually understanding when teachers make minor mistakes. Now, I actually enjoy speaking in front of groups. It's amazing how much you can change with consistent effort and patience with yourself. What challenges have you overcome in your life? What fears are you still working on? How do you push yourself out of your comfort zone? Try saying, I used to be afraid of driving, but I took lessons and practiced a lot. Now I'm a confident driver. I'm still working on my fear of job interviews, but I'm getting better. That's great progress. Driving can be scary at first. Now, let's discuss work-life balance. This is something many people struggle with, including me. Sometimes I try to separate my work time from my personal time, but it's not always easy. I bring work home or think about student problems during my free time. I've learned to set boundaries. I don't check work emails after 7 p.m. or on weekends unless it's urgent. I also make sure to schedule time for hobbies and friends, not just work responsibilities. Regular vacations are important too, even if they're just short weekend trips. Taking breaks helps me return to work with fresh energy and new ideas. How do you balance work and personal life? Do you find it difficult to switch off from work? What do you do to relax and recharge? You might answer it's hard to balance sometimes. I work long hours, but I try to spend quality time with my family every evening. On weekends, I don't think about work at all. That's a healthy approach. Finally, let's talk about dreams and aspirations. I believe it's important to have something to work towards, whether big or small. My biggest dream is still opening my own language school. I imagine a warm, welcoming place where students feel comfortable making mistakes and taking risks with English. I want to create a community, not just a classroom. I also dream of writing a book someday, maybe about language learning or teaching methods. Writing has always interested me, but I haven't found the courage to start yet. On a smaller scale, I'd love to run a half marathon next year. I've never been a serious runner, but I think training for a race would motivate me to exercise more consistently. What are your dreams for the future? Do you have big goals, or do you prefer focusing on smaller, immediate targets? What's stopping you from pursuing your dreams? You can say, my dream is to start my own restaurant. I love cooking and want to share my culture's food with others. The main obstacle is saving enough money to start the business. What an exciting dream. Food is such a wonderful way to share culture. Wrapping up our conversation. Well, we've covered so many topics today. We talked about daily routines, work, technology, health, travel, relationships, and personal growth. These are all subjects that come up regularly in real conversations. The most important thing to remember is that English fluency comes from practice, not perfection. Every time you speak, even if you make mistakes, you're improving. Don't be afraid to use new words or try different expressions. Keep practicing these conversation topics with friends, family, or even by yourself in the mirror. The more you speak, the more natural it becomes. You can also watch English movies and TV shows to hear how native speakers use these topics in real conversations. Remember, everyone learns at their own pace. Some days you'll feel confident and fluent. Other days, you might struggle with simple words. That's completely normal and part of the learning process. I hope you enjoyed our conversation today. You did a great job participating and practicing your English. Keep up the excellent work. And remember that every conversation is a step forward in your English journey. Thank you for spending this time with me. Until next time, keep speaking, keep practicing, and most importantly, keep believing in yourself. You're doing amazing. See you next time for more English conversation practice. Goodbye for now on a smaller scale. I'd love to run a half marathon next year. I've never been a serious runner, but I think training for a race would motivate me to exercise more consistently.